Good morning, everybody. Courtney here with Parents for Change. Yesterday, I had a really interesting conversation with a young lady here on my page. And she's like, why don't you just pay the $20 and get over it? With all due respect, I'm great and thankful that you can pay your $20 for the technology fee. My problem lies in that Stephen Fisher, our superintendent, lied in an email. And she's like, oh, well, the budget doesn't come out. The budget. He can't release anything because of the budget. And I kept telling this woman yesterday, the budget, he didn't relate any of that in this email at all. The email stated he would get back to me the following week. He didn't say he had to wait on no budget, no nothing. And that's where the problem is. We have people that think these people are allowed to lie to us. And she's like, well, why don't you just pay it? They've been overcharging us for years. Schools have been overcharging us for years. And then I politely asked this woman, I said, okay. I said, say you go to the gas station. That gas station guy can buy that gas for $3. But he says, no, I don't want to charge you $3. I want to charge you $6 for a gallon of gas. What would then happen? There would be an outrage if it was supposed to be $3 for gas, and this gas owner wanted you to pay $6. Wouldn't there be an outrage? Well, here that's the same. It's the same concept. These chargers are $9 on Amazon, and the school is charging $20 when they get them for pennies on the dollar. And mind you, folks, the $20 that they're charging just for technology fees is $320,000 a year. That doesn't include what they're charging for broken chargers at $20 a pop. That doesn't include what they're charging for broken Chromebooks, which is $200 a pop. And thirdly, if children had any other way to learn, if everything wasn't on a computer, it would be different. If we had an option between a book or a computer, that would be different. But these children do not. And half the children in Cleveland County are on government assistance. So with that being said, their families are making the minimum to be able to live. And the minimum for the government to give you any type of food assistance is pretty freaking low. Pretty freaking low. And this woman went back and forth with me for almost an hour arguing with me about how da-da-da-da-da and this and that and the budget and da-da-da. And she's like, there's 14,000. And I was like, no, there's 16,000 kids enrolled. Yada, yada, yada. And she kept going on and on and on and on. Do y'all people not think about the kids that these parents are barely making it by to pay rent, the single moms and single dads? Get out of your hind end for a minute and think, literally think. If Stephen Fisher knew exactly where this money was going, it would be a click and a fucking paste, excuse my language. But $320,000 is going somewhere just for technology fees alone, and our superintendent can't even answer where it's going. And you got parents out here that's like, just pay it, it's just $20. Well, can pin a rose on your nose and consider it gold, but some parents can't. Because they're robbing Peter to pay Paul to keep food on the table and to pay the rent and the power. So if you're going to message me sticking up for these convicts that need to be in dadgum jail because they can't... If it was me as a parent and the school messaged me and wanted an answer, if you think they'd allow me 2 weeks to answer, you are out of your mind. You are out of your mind if you think that the school system wanted an answer out of you that they'd wait 2 weeks. You're absurdly out of your mind. And if you think for one time that if your kid misses 10 days of unexcused absences, that your hind end won't be showing up at Cleveland County Courthouse answering to a judge, you're sadly mistaken. When the schoolhouse wants to hold you responsible, you will be held responsible. But when the taxpayer asks a question from the superintendent, and the superintendent tells me he will get back a hold of me after Memorial Day weekend and does not do so, he is hiding. And for anybody to stick up for that and just $320,000 is somewhere. We got kids out here starving. And you got parents out here so blinded by, well, why don't you just pay the $20? Do you realize there were kids that couldn't walk because they couldn't pay technology fees? Do you realize there were kids that couldn't walk because they couldn't afford it? This is public education, folks. Our tax dollars pay for these kids to go to school and get an education. An education shouldn't be held hostage behind a $20 technology fee. Period. End of discussion. It should be worked into the budget. Stephen Fisher shouldn't make $209,000 a year. We have 110 vacancies in Cleveland County schools because nobody wants to work for the son of a guns. When they're hired, you have to sign a letter that you will not speak ill of Cleveland County schools. Aberly still has her position at Burns High School when she let 10 to 15 kids commit felonies. And she told the teachers if they were to say a word, they wouldn't have a job. You parents need to get out of your assholes and wake up. We've got kids out here that $20 could be food for the week. Not just, just pay it. Or, there's a budget meeting happening. No. And when somebody in a position of power says they're going to give you an answer in a week, then you better, by God, I want that answer. I want to know where money's going. I don't want to wait till it's convenient for him or for me to forget about it. That's what's wrong with half the U.S. population today. They're just like, pay it. But I guarantee you, if it came down to somebody charging you $6 for gas when you're supposed to get it for $3, you'd be raising hell. But when it comes to our kids, you're like, I'll just pay it. We got kids in Cleveland County schools that need special equipment to be able to learn, and Cleveland County tells them they can't afford it. But we can afford to pay Stephen Fisher $209,000 a year to live on his high hog and not answer a daggum email as to where money's going. And I'm so sick and tired of people saying, go to a board meeting, go to a board meeting. There's people that's been going to board meetings for years and ain't nothing been done. One lady I know was going for years that was working for anti-bullying. She can't have nothing to do with Cleveland County schools because she spoke up against bullying. So don't tell me what I need to research and what I need to do. I done it. Money's going in people's pockets. It's being hid. And I want to know where it's going because our number one goal should be for the betterment of our children. And it's not. It's for the betterment of the superintendent, the people on the board members, and them principals sticking it in our pockets. If it was so easy as to where the money was going, it would be a click and a paste. Here you go, ma'am. And if it was going for technology fees, that would have been a very simple email to respond to. So people, y'all need to wake up. And it's only going to get worse. But just pay the $20. Well, honey, the next time when somebody wants to charge you $6 for a gallon of gas and it's supposed to be $3, I don't want to hear a word out of anybody's mouth. Not a word. Because I guarantee you'd raise hell. Well, don't let our public schools be overcharging people. Half our kids are on government assistance as it is. We don't need parents on this high horse saying, well, just pay it. No, we pay enough in taxes. There's a budget. End of discussion. End of story. Superintendents need to take pay cuts. Board members need to take pay cuts. But when you have teachers resigning at notorious rates, we have 110 vacancies in Cleveland County schools because they're fed up. They're fed up with not being able to speak. They're fed up with the nonsense. They're fed up with the bureaucracy. They're fed up with it. Most of them teachers know how much these kids are being taken advantage of in the families, and it's ridiculous. It's stupid. Like she said, it's been happening for years. Schools have been overcharging for years. Well, it's time we put an end to it. Our children matter. Their education matters, and they need to be able to graduate, to be able to read and write, and be able to do their taxes, be able to sign a check, and be able to know how to do basic finances, and they can't do that anymore. And for anybody that comes on any one of my posts and want to message me and say, how dare you say, well, why don't you just pay the $20? Well, by God, honey, I don't want to ever hear you complain about the price like anything else. Because I'm advocating for innocent children. Innocent children. Y'all remember, not everybody loves children, and not everybody cares about every child. I care about every child. Not just one. Not just two. Not just three. I care about every child. I care about a child going without because we have a greedy system. And y'all need to remember that. Remember it wholeheartedly. Remember come November. And if there's nobody on that ballot you want to vote for, don't vote for anybody. Let's get them all the hell out of here. They don't deserve it. They don't deserve that money. They don't deserve the benefits. They don't deserve none of it. Our children deserve that money. Our children deserve an education, and they deserve a better education without being robbed. Y'all have a blessed day. Sorry I was yelling and screaming and I ain't got a voice, but I'm so over the ignorance anymore, folks. I'm so over it. Because like I said, I guarantee you if somebody charged you $6 for a gallon of gas and it was supposed to be $3, you'd be raising hell. But all because the school wants to charge $20 for a charger when it's actually $9 and something on Amazon. We should just shut up and pay it. Make that make sense. Peace out.